It's all down here from here. What's your prognosis, Doctor? Your father is good enough for many more years to come, answered the physician optimistically. Fred sighed. He was an insurance salesman working on a commission basis only. Since 1988, business was not going well. His wife, Olivia, told him to leave the insurance industry and get a proper job down the sewers, like her father had done. Jane Austen was right. People have the annoying habit of hanging on to life for more years than necessary, especially when life insurance is involved. Fred's father was confined to a wheelchair and smoked 5 a day. Packets, not individual cigarettes. The son encouraged the father's dangerous habit, but the old man seemed to thrive on his daily intake of nicotine, tar, and carbon monoxide. The medical bills mounted up. Examination after examination turned up nothing fatal or even remotely terminal. Fred's father was celebrating his 85th birthday in 2 weeks' time. Fred saw himself bankrupt within a month. Fear of a career in the London drainage system prompted him to take drastic action. Father, when was the last time you saw the antiquities in Luxor? I ain't interested in no antiquities, he snarled, lighting another cigarette. But it's ancient heritage. Wouldn't you like to see them before I pegs out, if that's what you're a meaning of, son? Fred's father had a way with words. He was at Oxford in the 1930s, down the drains, not the university. Really, father, nothing was further from my mind, Fred lied. Foot slogging it round a valley of bleeding kings and all. Wants your head tested, don't ya? You need a change of scenery, father. After a few days of being waited on hand and foot at a 5-star hotel down there, you'll come back refreshed. 3 days later, Fred burst into his father's room and announced that he had bought the tickets. The old man muttered and slurped his coffee. Fred grimaced distastefully. As soon as they claimed their luggage at the airport, Farid, or Fred, as his name has suddenly changed, plumped his father into a wheelchair. I read that sentence again. As soon as they claimed their luggage at the airport, Farid, oh dear, I've done it again, plumped his father into the wheelchair and they made for the ferry across the Nile. Fred, getting his name right this time, became informative. Look, father, the colossi of Memnon. I don't see why we had to come all this bleeding way just to see bits of stone and blooming holes in the ground with painting all over the walls. Didn't they have nothing better to do in them days or what? Oh, father, you are such a Philistine, lamented Fred as he mopped his brow. What's that you say? Just saying you're filling your time in with something cultural. I don't suppose you can smoke down in them bloody tombs, can you? The wheelchair squeaked and rattled up the gentle slope towards the Valley of King. Fred stopped pushing to make an adjustment to the contraption. I need a new wheelchair. Why don't you get me another one? If you had a job down the drains, you could have got me 1 month ago, you know, the old man whined. All in good time, father. Money is a bit tight at the moment, but not for long, Fred chirruped. He jerked the wheelchair round 180 degrees, and with an almighty push, he sent the old gentleman down the gentle gradient. The father was not a little surprised by the sudden change in itinerary. His shrieks faded into the distance as he picked up speed and became a speck against the light brown background. A tour bus rounded the corner and collided with the elderly invalid. I wish people would not send me messages at times like this. I'm going to read that sentence again as well. A tour bus rounded the corner and collided with the elderly invalid. At that moment, Fred smiled gleefully to himself at the thought of the fat cheque from the insurance company. Police investigators found that the brake mechanism on the victim's wheelchair had been rendered ineffective. A wheelchair manufacturer is helping police with their inquiries.